Hi everyone, what is up? Welcome to a new Daily Watches video. Let's quickly dive into the chart to see what could happen today. First of all, what we can see is the euro dollar, and I don't really like this price action to start with. Like what we can see, what I already said yesterday, is that we broke this trend line with a big gap. After that, we would close the gap, preferably like usually if something like this happens, if we create a gap, price will come back, fill that gap. And that happened, like we broke the trend line, we created the gap. Price came back to fill the gap and also to go inside of our demand zone. For now, there are two scenarios that could happen. First of all is the scenario that this zone is going to play out and that we are going to move up. Second scenario that I am watching is basically that the EURUSD dollar will start falling, will break the lows and will visit like the lower zones in here. For now, I don't really have a big bias either way to the upside or downside. For now, I'm just neutral. I am aware that we still have some support in this demand zone, but I don't really like the fact that we have so much 50% candles and it's just like not really clear. So what I would prefer to see is price just breaking up, breaking these highs in here, then probably create like another demand zone and going from there. If something like that happens, we could create like a big run. That would mean that like these highs can be broken easily and we could visit these highs in here. But I really want to see that clear break to the upside, clear high break, demand zone being created, and just these zones in here being taken out. And if that happens, what we can see basically is that we create another market structure, right? Like for now, okay, we are still coming out of a demand zone, and it would still be possible looking at price action for us to turn bullish. Basically, if it happens, we can easily break this supply zone in there too and go higher in this supply zone in there. But I'm really waiting to see if we can get that clear breakout to the upside. If that doesn't happen, I'm just expecting these lows to be broken for sure, because the demand below in there is not really strong. And yeah, I'm just waiting to see either way a breakout to the upside or a further continuation to the downside. Because what we can see on the US dollar is also that price is just still bullish, you know. Like we had a supply zone in here yesterday. I already said this is not a valid supply zone. What we can see now is the price just continues to go up. And this momentum, this can increase. Like we can go further to the upside. We can break this overall supply zone in here and the bigger supply zone in there. Like I already said in the previous weeks, I am still very bullish on the dollar for now. We might eventually get a pullback for sure. Like usually what happens if price has these upward moves, right? It will usually take out some liquidity, then make a pullback, and if price wants to rally from there, we can go to the upside. What we see on overall bigger time frame is that we are still located in supply, so we are still in the upper levels. But that's why I'm watching the lower time frames to see if we can break these highs, if we can sustain this move, because now the supply zone is just in control, or we're going to break to the downside and we're going to get like a shift in momentum. Because if we break to the downside in here, we get a downward shift. We can visit these lows again and preferably even go lower from there. That's why this supply zone and these levels in here are so important to sustain. Now going over to the pair, I said to you yesterday, NZDUSD dollar, like what we can clearly see is that we had a rejection of this trend line, right? And the price is still moving down. DXY is still moving up, NZDUSD dollar is moving down, and we could easily visit in this demand zone below in there. For now, that's also the level that I'm watching to see if price can maybe make like a pullback from here, but at least visit this demand zone below in there. We do have like a minor demand zone in here actually, because we broke this supply zone in there, we broke the highs. So yeah, price can still make a pullback from here, but most likely it will visit this one because there's like a bigger value of demand below in there. And that's preferably where I want to see price heading next. That said, moving over to the GBPUSD dollar. And regarding the GBPUSD dollar, it is just really choppy. So what we could see is we had a fake breakout of a trend line. We had the liquidity grab all the way in here. We did take out this supply zone, but we visited our old supply zone in there. For now, not really a clear structure. What I prefer to see is prices breaking down, visit this demand zone in there, this daily demand zone in there. Besides that, I'm not really doing a lot. Like we got like this really ugly wick in here, and there's just a lot that could happen now. But preferably, I want to see these double lows in here, these double bottoms in here being taken out, and just price visiting lower in this demand zone. Now moving over to AUDUSD dollar real quick. same thing. We're just stuck in a range. I want to see a breakout to the upside or to the downside. It's really not doing a lot for weeks already. Like whole of June, like half of May. Let's say from the start of May until now, we're just stuck in this range, and I don't like that at all. I want to see a clear breakout. That's it. Moving over to gold, and what we can see, still the same scenario. We can easily visit the 0.25 level. I am still highly bullish on gold long term, but I want to see a breakout to the upside. And before that happens, we need to break this trend line in here. We need to take out this supply zone, create new demand zones. If that happens, gold can rally pretty hard. I'm sure of that. But just for now, I'm neutral. Like, we can still break these lows easily. But overall, the whole market structure is just bullish. But before, I'm going to take some bigger longs to target like a new all-time high. I want to see this trend line being taken out, supply zone being taken out. And after that, I'm going to look for some new good positions. For now, we do have this level of demand below in there. That's it. Moving over to the Bitcoin real quick. And what we can see on the Bitcoin is basically a breakout to the upside, right? With demand zone in here, and I'm still watching this demand zone to see if price can be heading here, maybe eventually make like a bigger pullback to the upside. So for now, yeah, this is the zone that I will be watching, and I might eventually take some longs in here, but I really want to see this being visited first before I'm gonna do anything, and to see what the lower time frames tell me after that happens. Like, if we never see a break of the highs on the 15-minute or the 1 hour, it will just mean the price can still be heading down. But if price visits this demand zone, breaks some highs, makes like a turnaround, like makes like a clear uptrend on the lower time frames, then it would be easy for price to go back in the range and to be like a ping pong again back to the 70k level, something like that. But for now, this is an important demand zone. If this one does not hold, we can easily visit lower and maybe eventually just break the lows. But yeah, that's what I said. I'm watching this one. We turned a little bit bullish. If we visit this demand zone and we start turning up again, we have a confirmation. Now I don't have a confirmation at all. We just have like a slight and minor demand zone in here. We have a minor uptrend, but nothing really significant yet. So that's why I want to see a push from here. If that happens, we have a bullish bias. We can create a bullish bias and ride it to the upside. Now that's it. I'm going to close the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.